I'm talking about that exact accountability where it's also trickling on to the creative guys. Do you think it's fair?
Creativity is a tool, creativity is a weapon for us. That product helps us in developing ideas.
You don't think that the advertising business is dying out?
Competition is very severe, so margins are being reduced. Margins are getting squeezed. So it's a difficult business proposition, but it's not going to die out.
You have been made offers and you actually never accepted those. What made you continue and what made you believe in yourself?
In the initial part, it was more of emotional connect with the agency.
Okay.
In the latter part, it became that, this is probably something that I can gift my children.
You are keeping your father's words intact and going in you, which is actually keep walking.
I believe in that philosophy of keep walking. There is no end. There is no destination which says the end.
नमस्कार दोस्तों, मैं प्रीति हून इंटरव्यू वाली और आज मेरे गेस्ट एडवर्टाइजिंग की दुनिया के दिग्गज हैं. ही इज अ लिविंग लेजेंड. He has completed 50 working years in Indian advertising industry and has become one of the leading professionals who have achieved this feat without taking a break. This podcast is in 5 parts. तो कोई भी episode miss मत कीजिएगा. All links will be provided in the description. Get inspired and please don't forget to share, like and subscribe this channel. Thank you so much and enjoy watching. So 2011, Sahara was out of your ambit, so to say. How did your journey continue from there? And today, BEI Confluence is 27 years old. This is the 27th year running. Do you get jitters sometime thinking, yes, I made it happen? Like, do you talk to your pillow at night sometimes and, make yourself feel that it's real?
Well, while Sahara was going on in full-fledged business with us, the team and me were endeavoring to get other businesses. Unknowingly that, Sahara can close. We thought Sahara was going to last forever, but good dreams don't always continue. So we started getting, and we also had a lot of founder clients. I mean, you would have heard of the name Cracks.
Yes.
Cracks is children's snacks.
We used to eat them like put in our fingers
yes.
and eat. We all know this.
Cracks has a long history of working with BEI Confluence.
Oh.
We started with them in 2000,
Okay.
around the same time. It shifted from Ogilvy. In those days, Ogilvy.
Did you pitch for it?
We didn't pitch for it. It was a person who was working in Ogilvy had joined us at a senior level.
Okay.
So he had brought the business with
Okay.
him. And that business continued with us till 2019 when they were sold off to a foreign company, the brand. The owners became family friends to us. And, the sons of the owner who I have still interact with, they continue in another business, but they are great friends of my son. So, it's a second generation. I mean, my son is actually the third generation if I consider myself
Yeah.
as second generation.
Yes.
I mean, that generation of business is continuing. So we have another business, which is Insecticides India Limited, which started very small with us early, and they are continuing with us. So our longevity of business, which means the length of time working with us, has been far higher than the industry. In this industry, advertising industry, clients don't last too long.
Why do you think that's one of the reasons for your success as well?
Well, I think that's a great reason for our success because our length of time we handle brands. Because what happens is that over a time you also develop an expertise on the market, on the
Sure.
brand, on the consumer. And if you continuously reinvent yourself, which we do in BEI all the time, every year, every 6 months, it's a process of reinventing us, re-engineering us with talent, with new technologies, with new understanding, with new people.
But I think you've always also been lucky because clients these days don't even stay for very long time. And do you think that you've been lucky?
Yeah, we have been lucky, but what also, you see, there are clients also who come to us, stay for 2 years, 3 years and go. But we deal with some very large business families, like for instance, the groups, not families, groups, business groups like the JK Group. We are one of their main agencies. We handle JK Paper, we handle their dairy products. I think it's the continuous, if we ever feel comfortable that this business is going to last with us, I think that's the last day that you would ever work with that business.
You also have a lot of clients from FMCG.
We are primarily a strong FMCG oriented agency because our
Correct.
expertise comes from there.
I want to understand whether your expertise came in by choice or you developed it as you went ahead with the clients coming to your kitty.
You see, when I started my whole career of 50 years, I have dealt 80% of with FMCG, whether it was ITC in cigarettes, then Nestle's, then Reckitt and Coleman, Gillette, Perfetti, which we launched. All these brands are actually Durex. Levi's is also an FMCG in that sense. All these brands. So I have been an FMCG person all my life. By coincidence, my son, Abhishek, who is now the joint managing director,
Right.
Abhishek was trained in UK in London School of Music. He did a couple of courses and he graduated from there. He came and joined Havas.
Okay.
From Havas, he shifted to Publicis. From there to Ogilvy.
Okay.
So his career of 12 years outside BEI Confluence has also primarily been with FMCG brands. It's by coincidence.
But
not
why did you want him to work outside BEI?
because I wanted him to be trained fully. When he comes in, he shouldn't be a homegrown product.
So
He
you
should
were like
bring-
an old school father
Yes.
who wanted to
Yes.
have his child have
Absolutely.
exposure outside.
So he should be able to bring in expertise and learnings from other agencies. Abhishek in his career has handled Coca-Cola brands. Sprite is a very large brand he used to handle. In Publicis, he used to handle the Nestle portfolio. Then he handled a couple of biscuit brands. So he's handled also, his lifespan of 18 years is also primarily devoted to FMCG. So by destiny, this has become our specialization. And so clients in Delhi, in Bombay, all over the country know us as a strong FMCG agency.
But did he tell you that he always wanted to be in advertising?
Well, I had trained him up for that.
Okay.
My daughter is also in advertising.
Yeah, Rumpa.
Rumpa, she is also in advertising because she spent 8 years in the social marketing sector in Singapore.
Okay.
After she got married, she spent 8 years there. Then after they got transferred, I brought in Rumpa because she had a lot of experience of dealing with diverse cultures, diverse people, and diverse knowledges it's a lot of wealth for the advertising. So, she brings in a different perspective. So her kind of brands she handles, for instance, Insecticides India Limited, IIL, is a rural brand.
Sure.
She handles products like Jindal Steel, she's not our FMCG person. She handles JK Paper, which is
Okay.
not really an FMCG, it's more corporate.
When did Abhishek join you and when did Rumpa join you?
I think Abhishek joined in 2016
Okay.
and Rumpa joined in 2019 or 20.
Okay. Sure. So, there's this word which is very famous these days, nepotism, which is actually there in Bollywood. But do you think that applies to advertising as well? And do you think that word in itself means something, or does it hold any meaning for you?
Nepotism, dynasty, you can call it by any name. The issue is that if your children are competent enough, they bring value to the table, then I believe this should be taken forward.
Makes sense.
Because if they didn't bring value to the table, I would have probably, and my children were not even interested in the business, I would have probably sold off. I have incidentally got through my life, I think, hundreds of offers of selling off.
Oh, yes, that's another point to discuss. Why did you never sell it off? Because I remember having this conversation with you last year where you did tell me that you have been made offers and you actually never accepted those. What made you continue and what made you believe in yourself? And at that point in time, your children were not even there with you in advertising. So you were all by yourself. How did you keep going?
You see, there's an interesting coincidence. When my children joined in, by that time my wife decided to take a break to make it not look like a total family concern.
Okay.
So Chubby took a break around 2018 or so. Maybe she would have overlapped with Abhishek for about a year. But before Roompa joined, because by then, she started looking after the grandson because Abhishek's wife also works. She's also a very strong, big marketing professional. She's working in market as a head of CMO of a company. So, therefore she took off. Why I did not sell, in the initial part, it was more of emotional connect with the agency.
Okay.
In the latter part, it became that, this is probably something that I can gift my children.
So you want to leave behind your legacy.
And I wanted to leave behind. I still want to build a legacy further and leave behind. Legacies are built every day. Every fresh day is a new legacy you build.
Yeah, sure. And
So
IPO is next for you.
IPO, we are going slightly slow because of the market
Yeah.
disruptions that are
Right,
happening.
right.
We were planning to do it for 2025, but maybe we may have to defer it because this will now be dictated by the marketplace. Everybody is advising us to
Hold on.
take it a little slow at a time. But regardless of the IPO, our investments in technology, our investments in, we are now, digital is the new buzzword.
Mainline.
Digital is the main line now. Therefore, digital communication has taken a huge proportion and a dimension in our business. And we are now providing complete digital services. We've recently hired a very senior digital person who is overseeing. The digital has now become a 360
Sure.
360 service. I mean, whether it is SEOs, SEMs, performance marketing, and advertising is now becoming quantified. This is a very important thing.
Okay.
There was a time when we spent lakhs and lakhs and crores on advertising without knowing what is working and what is not working. Today, with performance marketing, you are able to actually pinpoint to what works and what does not work. Today, when you do your, e-commerce communication, a listing of D2C products, you can make out by this what sale. Where have you been able to bring the brand from number 5 to number 1 in the hierarchy?
Sure.
Where if you have been able to achieve the 20% market share you had set your objectives on, whether you've been able to sell X number of products against a certain investment you made in communication, which means advertising has become a ROI driven profession.
But does that pressurize creativity? Is that killing creativity?
Creativity is now taking new forms. You see, creativity is also a very loose word. I mean, creativity does not, there will be no end of good ideas. But good ideas in creativity and advertising have to lend themselves into different dimensions. For instance, professional content writing for e-commerce platforms is very different from doing something, a TVC, or doing digital films, which are linked to the brand's events. They are very different kinds of
So I can
creativity.
further delve on it by saying that, do you think that human creativity is getting affected by the advanced technology that we are receiving these days and changing on daily basis?
You see, people in creative profession who are able to embrace technology are the ones whose creative brain plus the technology should come as a help. Technology can never replace creativity. Technology must, which means 1 plus 1 should be 11. Creativity, your own understanding of creativity and your own expression of creativity comes with some AI tools, some technology. They should explode. Today, a lot of creative directors are today using AIs, not only in our agency, all over. They're using AIs to generate even things like press layouts, ad layouts, short TV commercials are being developed on AIs now. So all these things, that's the future in advertising. But what is happening is that for every rupee we spend, the accountability on us agencies are going up by the day.
So I'm talking about that exact accountability where it's also trickling on to the creative guys. Do you think it's fair?
Creative guys have to adapt themselves. They are adapting themselves. At the end of the day, understand, this is not we are not developing a Mona Lisa, nor are we doing some great art sculptures. We are in the business of commerce. I always tell and that's where my analytical part of the brain helps me. If I got totally wrapped in creativity, my business would have never succeeded. I always call advertising a business. I'm a businessman at the end of the day. Huh?
Sure.
If I am a businessman, I have to run it like a businessman. Creativity is a tool. Creativity is a weapon for us. It's our product.
Okay.
Creativity is our product. Creativity is not an end by itself. That product helps us in developing ideas that help a client's brand take off, whether it's in the digital platform, whether it's in the conventional platform, whether it's in outdoor hoarding, or, I mean, every medium today is being innovated. Even outdoors have gone completely different from what used to be
So
there.
what's the future of advertising according to you?
The future of advertising will continue to be grow at a good pace. But people who will be able to adapt to the changing times, they will be the ones who will survive. I mean, with COVID, hundreds of traditional agencies have died down.
Yeah, so I was just about to come to that. Like, you don't think that the advertising business is dying out? You don't side by that narrative?
I don't side by that narrative at all. Advertising business, what is happening is that the competition is very severe, so margins are being reduced.
Okay.
Margins are getting squeezed. So it's a difficult, business proposition, but it's not going to die out.
Okay.
And people have to adapt to the newer and newer thing. Evolution of advertising is happening rapidly in the digital side of business. If you don't adapt yourself there, and if you are not there early enough, you lose that advantage of being an early mover.
Sure. So what are your parting thoughts for the youngsters who are now entering advertising, and who you want to give your words of wisdom, coming from a person who has spent 50 working years in advertising? What will be your message to all those who are now entering advertising and want to lead a future in it?
I think adaptability and being, changing with the times or being ahead of the times in terms of technology. You see, technology, creativity, none of these are going to die. But the moment you add them together, that is where magic can happen. Your magic will happen out of these two. None of them are going to die. So if a young writer or a young art person comes to me to ask me, how is my future going to be? I'm going to tell him, you're a great mind. Adapt yourself to technology, learn the technologies, use those technologies to create your masterpieces.
Sure. On that note, Tapas, this has been a great source of wisdom, your experiences, your anecdotes, everything that you are today. I think it takes a lot to be where you are today. And I kid you not, it's not because we are doing this interview and I have to sound good in the end, but I truly believe in this fact that, to go on for 50 years in advertising and have that kind of enthusiasm to talk about it, to narrate the young generation about what's in store for them. I think you really have it in you. And Here's to next 50 years.
At least, everybody asks me if I have any retirement plans. I'm unable to answer them. I don't know what to do if I retire. Will I be bored? Uh, my children are very strongly entrenched in the agency. They're running it. But maybe I am the guiding spirit to them. Maybe I am the friend, philosopher, guide. That's the role I want to play as long as I can have the good health and mind to contribute to the business. I will be doing that.
So you don't see an and you are keeping your father's words intact and going in you, which is actually keep walking.
I believe in that philosophy of keep walking. There is no end. There is no destination which says the end.
So here's for your good health, for you to keep walking. Thank you so much, Tapas, for joining us for this podcast. And it's been enriching, like I said, and thanks once again.
Thank you so much for taking your time out to talk to me. I'm sure some of the anecdotes, some portions of what I have done in my life will probably be a source of inspiration for some people. And I still love advertising as much as I used to do 50 years back. And I will keep walking till I see the end.